Hype videos have rotted your perception of time. You expect a linear, upward trajectory where every day feels like a breakthrough. When a day feels normal or slow, you assume you're failing. You've become a sensation seeker, looking for the hit of progress rather than the reality of it. You're addicted to the idea of success, not the process of it. The Dunning-Kruger peak is about to crumble under your feet. The excitement of the new start is wearing off, and the actual weight of the journey is starting to press down on your shoulders. You're realizing that the road isn't a highway. It's a dense, quiet forest. Most people turn back the moment the music stops. The problem starts with your focus. You're staring at the trophy while your feet are tripping over the very first step. You think the finish line is a place of permanent rest, a magical land where effort is no longer required. This mindset makes the actual work feel like an annoying interruption to your dream. You're essentially waiting for a life that doesn't require you to be you. The solution begins with killing the mirage. You have to accept that success is just a different set of problems. It's not an escape from reality, it's a deeper engagement with it. Once you stop looking for a finish line, you can start looking at the path. You're moving from a destination mindset to a navigation mindset. We're heading into the silence now. The crowd is gone, the hype has faded, and it's just you in the dirt. This is where the actual road begins. Let's see if you can handle the drop into the valley of despair without looking for a shortcut. Your current drive is actually just anxiety in a suit. You're running toward a goal because you're terrified of your current reality. This means your success is built on a foundation of escapism. If you're running away from something, you'll never actually arrive at anything. You'll just be a faster version of the same lost person. You've been sold a version of success that looks like a 30-second montage with a pumping bass line. You see the private jets, the clean aesthetic, and the end result, assuming the climb feels just as exciting as the destination. This is the peak of Mount Stupid. You're currently high on a fantasy that doesn't exist, convinced that once you arrive, all your internal problems will suddenly evaporate. The truth is, you're in love with a ghost. Chapter 1. The new project smell is officially gone. You wake up, and for the first time, you don't feel like doing the work. The motivation that carried you through the first week has evaporated, leaving you with nothing but a giant to-do list and a sense of dread. This is the gravity of inertia. It's the universe checking to see if you were serious or just talking. Inertia is a physical force. It takes 10 times more energy to start a car than it does to keep it rolling. You're currently wasting all your fuel on starting and stopping every other day. You never build enough momentum to break through the friction. You're working hard, but you're staying in the same place. Success is a game of attrition. It's about being the last person standing when everyone else has gone home to take a nap. If you can move forward while you're bored, you've already beaten the majority of your competition. We're building a routine fortress right here in the mud. The problem is that you've been relying on feeling good to get things done. You've tied your productivity to your mood, which is the most unstable foundation imaginable. When you don't feel it, you stop. Then you feel guilty for stopping, which makes you want to avoid the work even more. It's a downward spiral that leads straight back to the couch. The valley is where 90% of people vanish. They can handle the peak and they want the plateau, but they can't handle the long, boring middle. They think that because they don't see results, nothing is happening. They don't understand that the roots grow in the dark before the tree ever breaks the surface. You're currently in the root-growing phase. The solution is to decouple your actions from your emotions. You have to become a cold operator. A cold operator doesn't care if they're tired, bored, or uninspired. They follow the system because the system is the boss. You need to stop asking yourself how you feel about the work and start asking if the work is finished. You're currently looking for a sign to quit. You're telling yourself that maybe this isn't the right niche or that you need more research before continuing. That's just fear dressed up as logic. You're trying to find an honorable way to give up because the valley of despair is darker than you expected. You feel like a fraud because the progress isn't visible yet. Being busy is often a sign of laziness, the laziness of not wanting to think critically about your priorities. You're filling your day with low-leverage noise, so you don't have to face the high-leverage silence. You're a Ferrari engine being used to power a toaster. It's a waste of potential. Chapter 2. You're working hard, but you're working on the wrong things. So you've spent the last 3 hours tweaking a logo or choosing a font for your Notion dashboard. You feel busy, but you aren't actually building value. You're playing business instead of doing business. This is a form of procrastination that feels like productivity, and it's keeping you broke. The problem is your skill stack. You're a generalist in a world that rewards specialists. You have a bunch of level 1 skills that anyone can replace for $10 an hour. You're trying to compete on effort alone, but effort is a commodity. If you don't have a rare, valuable skill, you're just a cog in someone else's machine. The solution is to identify your one thing. What is the one skill that, if mastered, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Is it high-end color grading? Is it complex automation logic? Is it the psychology of a sales hook? Find it and dedicate your best hours to it. Everything else is a distraction. The world doesn't pay for trying, it pays for solving. If your skill is easy to learn, it's easy to ignore. You need to find the thing that is difficult, painful, and rare, and you need to master it. This is the slope of enlightenment. It's the phase where you stop looking for hacks and start looking for mastery. You're terrified of deep work. You'd rather do 10 easy tasks than one difficult, complex task that actually moves the needle. This is because easy tasks give you a quick hit of dopamine, while deep work requires you to sit with the frustration of not knowing the answer yet. You're choosing the gold star over the gold mine.
You're becoming dangerous now. You're building a capability that can't be taken away by an algorithm or a bad economy. You're moving from the worker category to the expert category. The road is getting steeper, but your grip is getting tighter. Let's talk about the machine that's going to carry you the rest of the way.
Burnout isn't caused by working too hard. It's caused by cognitive overload. It's the stress of having 1,000 loops open in your head at once. You feel heavy and exhausted because you're carrying the weight of your entire business in your working memory. You're one system crash away from a total breakdown. Chapter 3. Your life is a mess of open tabs, half-finished projects, and mental notes that you're destined to forget. You think you can rely on your brain to manage your growth, but your brain is a processor, not a hard drive. Every time you have to remember a task, you're burning through the mental energy you should be using to create. You're a pilot trying to fly a plane without a dashboard. The slope of enlightenment requires a life OS. You need a digital brain that remembers for you. You need a master blueprint that tells you exactly what to do when you wake up, so you don't have to waste willpower on making decisions. Decisions are expensive, systems are free. The problem is a lack of systems. You're reacting to your environment instead of architecting it. When an email comes in, you drop everything. When a new idea pops up, you abandon your current project. You're a victim of the next shiny thing syndrome because you don't have a fortress to keep the noise out. You're building on sand. The solution is to stop doing and start building. Spend a week building the machine that does the work for you. Set up your Notion databases, create your Make automations, and document your workflows. If you can't describe what you do as a process, you don't know what you're doing. You're just guessing. You've been ignoring the invisible architecture of success. You think the road is just about hustle, but the road is actually about plumbing. It's about the boring stuff. File naming conventions, automated backups, financial tracking, and the para method. If the plumbing is broken, the house is going to flood, no matter how nice the furniture looks. You're feeling lighter now. The noise in your head is settling because you trust your system to hold the details. You've moved from hustling to architecting. You're no longer the engine, you're the engineer. But as you speed up, you're going to notice that the people around you are starting to fall behind. Chapter 4. You're changing, and the people in your life are starting to notice. They make little jokes about how busy you are, or they try to guilt trip you into coming out when you should be working. It's not that they're bad people, it's just that your growth is a mirror that reflects their own stagnation. Your ascent is making them uncomfortable. The status quo is a powerful drug. Your old environment is designed to keep you exactly where you are. If you stay in the same rooms with the same people talking about the same things, you will eventually drift back to their level. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And right now, that average is holding you back. The problem is the anchor effect. You're trying to climb a mountain while holding on to the people who are happy in the valley. You feel a sense of loyalty to your old crowd, but that loyalty is becoming a cage. You're spending your limited energy explaining your vision to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. The solution is social sovereignty. You need to audit your circle. This doesn't mean being a jerk, it means being a protector of your energy. Find a new tribe of people who are further ahead than you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Seek out the silence or seek out the masters. This is the filter phase. The road to success is a giant filter that weeds out those who prioritize fitting in over standing out. You have to decide if you want the approval of the crowd or the freedom of the plateau. You can't have both. Choosing one means sacrificing the other. You're experiencing the isolation of the ascent. As you move up the Dunning-Kruger curve, the air gets thinner and the crowd gets smaller. You'll feel a weird sense of grief for the person you used to be and the friends you used to have. You're worried that success means being alone. That's a fear the system installed in you to keep you compliant. You're standing on a ledge now, looking down at the valley. It's quiet up here. You've lost some weight and it hurts, but you're moving faster than ever. You're almost there. The only thing left to conquer is the most dangerous part of the journey, the finish line itself. Chapter 5. You've done it. The systems are running, the skills are sharp, and the money is flowing. You've reached the plateau of sustainability. And yet, you feel a strange sense of emptiness. You expected a choir of angels and a permanent high, but all you found was a very quiet, very organized room. This is the Boredom Wall. Success is often boring. It's the repetitive maintenance of a winning strategy. It's the 100th time you've checked the data, the 1000th time you've followed the workflow. If you can't handle the boredom of mastery, you will never achieve legacy. You'll just be a serial starter who never finishes anything. The plateau is the final test of the Dunning-Kruger curve. It's where you prove that you can handle the responsibility of your own success. It's where you move from chasing to sustaining. Most people can't handle the peace. They need the noise to feel important. You have to be different. The road to success doesn't lead to a party. It leads to a garden. A garden requires daily boring care, but it provides a peace that no hype can ever match. You've navigated the curve. You've survived the valley. You've built the fortress. Now, for heaven's sake, just sit down and enjoy the view. The problem is your addiction to the struggle. You've spent so long fighting to get here that you don't know who you are without the fight. You're looking for a crisis to solve or a new niche to jump into just to feel that spark of adrenaline again. This is how empires are burned down by their own creators. You're bored, so you're becoming dangerous to yourself. The solution is to find depth instead of novelty. Instead of starting a new business, refine the one you have until it's a work of art. Instead of looking for new friends, deepen the relationships with the few you've kept. Find the self-healing in the quiet. Learn to be the person who can sit in a room alone and be perfectly content.
You're tempted to self-sabotage. You stop checking the systems, you let the routine slide, or you start making risky bets just to feel something. You've forgotten that the goal was freedom, not constant stimulation. You're trying to turn the plateau back into a valley just so you can have the fun of climbing again. That's not growth, that's a loop.
You're still here, listening to the silence of the plateau.
Most people quit when the road stopped being a movie and started being a walk, but you stayed for the whole map.
I've given you the architecture and the warnings. Now the only thing left is for you to stop looking for the next video and start maintaining the machine you've built. The road is behind you and the garden is yours. Don't ruin the peace just because you're bored.
You've arrived! Now stay!